So the first thing that a rabbit should eat is any type of grass hay. So I use Timothy hay, and this is what most of a rabbit's diet should be of. There should always be a supply of hay in their cage or wherever you're keeping them. So they always need to be able to access hay and eating hay. Rabbits don't tend to not overeat and gain weight, so they're not going to eat more than they need to, but they should always have hay there. They probably won't ever finish it if you keep a big supply of hay. The second thing that you should be feeding your rabbits are fresh foods, so fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. But when it comes to vegetables and fruits, they definitely need a lot more vegetables than they need fruits. Fruits are more just kind of a treat. They can be really good for training. One thing that I like to do is when I feed my rabbits fruit, I hold on to the fruit and hand feed them and let them eat from my hand and interact with me, and I'll pet them and talk to them while they're eating the fruit, because it's a treat. It's a really kind of special thing, and it really helps you bond with your rabbit when you hand feed. And fruit is a great thing to hand feed rabbits. So when we feed vegetables, most of the vegetables should be leafy greens. About 75% of the fresh food that you are feeding your rabbit should be leafy greens. So that's a lot more of the leafy greens than any type of vegetables or any fruit. So what you can think of is feed about 1 cup of leafy greens for every 2 pounds of your rabbit. You can feed this. I like to divide it throughout the day, so maybe some in the middle of the day and some at night, or some in the morning, instead of giving it to the rabbits all at once. Some leafy greens that rabbits would enjoy would be things like parsley, spinach, Swiss chard, the tops of radishes and the tops of carrots, the green parts, kale. I don't like to feed too much kale, but kale they really enjoy and it's healthy for them. Red or green lettuce, romaine lettuce, spring greens, turnip greens, dandelion greens, mint, basil, cilantro, and the tops of fennel as well. So those kinds of greens are great for your rabbit. And then you're also going to want to feed some root vegetables, or the flowers of vegetables like the broccoli and cauliflower, those flowers. You don't want to feed this to your rabbit as much because they often are high in starch and high in sugars. So the leafy greens are what they should be eating more than anything. First hay, and then leafy greens, and then these other kinds of vegetables. You don't want to feed any vegetables that are in the onion family, so things like leeks, chives, and onions themselves. Those aren't good for rabbits. The other kind of non-leafy green vegetables that you can feed your rabbits are carrots, so not the carrot tops, but the actual carrots themselves, the broccoli heads, the broccoli flowers. You can even feed roses and pansies and hibiscus flower petals, celery, any kind of bell peppers, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, summer squash, and zucchini. So those are some really good non-leafy vegetables that you can feed, and I wouldn't do more than about a tablespoon for every 2 pounds of body weight for your rabbit a day. And then I already talked a little bit about fruit and how it's really important to have fruit in your rabbit's diet. So some fruits that I like to feed are apples, but you want to make sure that you don't feed the core, so you don't want to have any stem or seeds. Cherries without the pits, pears, peaches, plums without the pits, kiwis, mangoes, pineapples, banana, any kind of melons, and nectarines. For fruit, you wouldn't really want to feed more than 1 teaspoon for every 2 pounds of body weight a day. So those are some foods and the vegetables and fruits that I choose to feed my rabbits.
Black coffee, I'm in trouble. Black coffee, I see trouble. Man, 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 I'm not gonna get home. Black coffee, I'm so dizzy. Black coffee, please get busy. Oh, 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 nothing to get home. Black coffee, I'm in trouble. I'm so dizzy. Please get busy. Man, 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 I'm not gonna get home. Black coffee, I'm in trouble. I'm so dizzy. Please get busy. Oh, 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 now I'm not gonna get home. I'm not gonna get home. Black coffee, I'm in trouble. Black coffee, I see trouble. Man, 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 I'm not gonna get home. Black coffee, I'm so dizzy. Black coffee, please get busy. Oh, 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 nothing to get home. Black coffee, I'm in trouble. I'm so dizzy. Please get busy. Man, 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 I'm not gonna get home. Black coffee, I'm in trouble. I'm so dizzy. Please get busy. Oh, 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 now I'm not gonna get home.